Hello, friends. Melissa Ross here, your mindset coach with Rise to Wellness, and this is episode 53 of Mat Chat. We are going to invite some friends on here, and today's episode is entitled, it's a question: do you need permission to ask for help? And I know that sounds like a weird question. Why would I need permission to ask for something? Why? But it's not a generic question, my friends. Today's question is a personal question for every one of you. And the idea behind it is for you to think about whether you actually ask for help or not. Do you willingly ask for help? Or do you wait until someone possibly suggests that you need help and that you might ask for help? If you're just joining me, please do put hashtag live or hashtag replay in the comments if you're watching the replay. Hashtag shift your mind if you're watching. And please do answer the question. Do you personally wait for permission? Wait till someone invites you to ask for help, or wait for permission to ask for help? Please do comment away in the comments there. Just a few more people will invite on. All right, my friends. So please do comment away. Again, today we're talking about asking for help and whether or not you ask for permission. Now, this has come up a few times for me over this week. At the beginning of the week, I had a client actually thank me for showing them that it was okay to ask for help, because this particular client didn't ask for help, always tried to do things by themselves, always tried to solve a problem on their own, and wouldn't reach out for help. Would say that they reached out for help, when they needed it, but oftentimes really didn't reach out for help and worked through things on their own. And so this client thanked me for showing them that it was okay, for showing them that it was okay to ask for help every once in a while, and that we don't need permission to ask for help, and it's actually a strong thing to do. Nicholas is here. Hello, Nicholas. And he says, I do at times. Does that mean you ask for permission at times, or you wait for permission at times, or do you actually ask for help at times? Please do clarify that, Nick. So, my friends, this came up for me a second time as well, and this week, because I read a post, and it's been circulating. The person who I read it from, they hadn't created the post. It was a quote from someone else, and it was a beautiful, beautiful quote, talking about how we're all worthy of help, and the concept. Oh, Nicholas says both. So sometimes he asks for permission, and sometimes he asks for help on his own. And I'm curious, Nick, to know what kind of help you ask for without waiting for permission, or without waiting for people to suggest, and what kind of help you're willing to reach out for on your own, because that will speak volumes for where you're at, and it may help you. It may help you a lot to recognize that, and recognize when you willingly ask for help and when you wait for someone to suggest to you that you may need help with something. So I was reading this post this week, and the post was talking about how we're all worthy of help, and we're all worthy of strength, and of having someone there that will give us that help. And it talked about being super uber independent. And so lots of times when we've been possibly scorned in a relationship, or when we are possibly single parents, or when we're trying to prove to ourselves and to other people that we can do something on our own, we become past independent. We become so far independent that we don't ask for any help at all. We strive to do everything on our own. And I find that oftentimes that happens with single moms, or possibly even married moms who are trying to be perfect. And we've talked about perfectionism before, and we've talked about how I was in perfectionism before, and how we can move away from perfectionism. But oftentimes that happens, that super independence and not asking for help, when we're trying to be that perfect person. And it doesn't always happen just with women and with moms, it happens with men too. But when we're trying to be that perfect person, we assume all responsibility and we don't ask for help. And oftentimes that ends up with us resenting our partner, or resenting our children, or resenting the people in our lives, or maybe resenting even an employer or a friend, because we don't speak up and ask for that help. So we resent them for not helping us when we're not asking for the help, or when we're not accepting the help. Nicholas says, I have a tendency to push as far as I can on my own until I start to feel overwhelmed, and then I will ask for help, mostly when it comes to work. Yeah, and oftentimes we will do that. A lot of us will do that. Chris Hall is watching. Welcome, Chris. Oftentimes, a lot of us will do that, where we'll push on our own without asking for help. And what I want to ask you all to do this week, as part of your homework this week, is to really identify those areas that you don't ask for help in. Identify those areas that you really become super independent in. Because really, when we look at that super independence, it's a trust issue. We're not trusting other people. And it's the same with that perfectionism. It's a trust issue. We're not trusting other people to help us in a way. Maybe somebody let us down when we ask them to help do something. And so we're not trusting that person can help us. We're not trusting maybe that they can do it the same as we do it. So really, it's a trust issue when we're talking about asking for help and that super independence, and we're looking at perfectionism and all of that. Nicholas says, yep. So as part of your homework this week, I'd like you to really evaluate where you easily ask for help and where you don't, where you struggle through, where you might have some perfectionism, where you might decide that you're going to struggle through until you're so stressed out that you can't do it, and you realize you can't do it and you need some help. So where are those areas in your life? Nicholas said, well, damn, that hit home. I'm glad that spoke to you, my friend. And I know that this is going to speak to lots of other friends out there. And it really, when this client of mine said to me, thank you for showing me that it's okay to ask for help, it really made me step back and think, wow, it never occurred to me that way, because I've moved so far past that. And I used to be in that same position, right? I used to be, when I was back healing from my postpartum and my severe anxiety, I was in that position and I wasn't asking for help, and I was ashamed of asking for help. I was ashamed. I thought that made me look like I couldn't handle things, because at that time I was still trying to be that perfect mom and that perfect person. So admitting that I couldn't do something was just as bad as actually having the depression and the anxiety in my mind, right? And sometimes we're in that place where we feel like that's just as bad, and we won't ask for that help until someone kind of says to us and gives us the permission and says it's okay to ask for help. Right? So I want you to evaluate this week. I'm inviting you this week to evaluate that. Get your journal out, friends, and journal those places in your life over the next week where you really struggle through, or where you do easily ask for help and where you're okay with it and you don't wait for that permission to ask for help. Evaluate where you might have some kind of perfectionism. Evaluate, take a look at those places where maybe you're not asking for help. And is it because you're not trusting someone? Is it because you're not trusting that someone can do it right? Or maybe trusting that someone won't let you down, right? Because sometimes we ask for help and people let us down. They don't help us and they let us down. And that's still a trust issue, friends. So let's evaluate this week where those areas are that we are easily asking for help, where we're not asking for help. And then let's look at those areas where we're not asking for help. And let's write down whether or not we think that's a trust issue. Are we not trusting people to follow through with the help? Are we not trusting that they might do it the same as us? Because that's perfectionism, friends. Are we stuck in perfectionism? Because honestly, does it really matter? Does it matter if it was done exactly how we want to do it, or does it just matter that it got done? And I know that's difficult for a lot of you, my friends. It was so difficult for me when I was stuck in that perfectionism. It did matter to me when I was in that perfectionism and in that place, and I needed to show everybody that I could be that perfect mom and that perfect wife, and I could do it all. It was important to me that it was done my way and done what I thought was right, because that's the mindset I was in. And now I just care that it gets done. I actually let my kids do a lot more things because I care that it's done. I don't care how they do it. So I shifted that mindset. Nick says this is good. Oh, I'm really glad you're enjoying it, Nick. So I shifted that mindset within myself, and you can shift that mindset within yourselves too, friends. You can move from that place of it needing to be done perfect, or needing to have that permission, or needing someone to tell you that it's okay to ask for that help because you might feel ashamed about asking for that help. You can move from that and shift your mindset into allowing someone in to help you in their own way, or allowing yourself to be vulnerable enough to ask for that help. And I know that's hard for a lot of people, a lot of men in particular. And I don't want to. German Sanchez is here. Welcome tonight. I hope you're well. And I don't want to stereotype, but for a lot of really strong men, it's hard for them to ask for help because they feel like they're supposed to be the head of the family and the provider and the one who takes care of everyone else. And when you're feeling that way, and you're feeling like you're the provider and you're the one, you're the caretaker, and you're the head of that family and the guardian of that family, then it's difficult to admit that you're in that place that needs help. It's difficult when you're supposed to be the one taking care of everybody to admit that you need somebody to help you, or you need that help. Right? And it's not a sign of weakness, friends. It's really not a sign of weakness. Neil is here. Welcome, Neil. He says, it is nice when someone offers to help before we ask. But yes, Neil, it is nice when someone offers to help before we ask. But I want you to think about this, Neil, and I want you to journal this a little bit. I invite you to journal it. And I invite you to journal what your thoughts are when you're saying that. When you're saying it's nice when someone offers to help before we ask. Because I want you to understand what kind of a mindset you're in and what's going through your mind when you feel like you want someone to offer it first. Why do you want someone to offer it first? Is it because you're waiting for permission to accept that help? Or if we're waiting for someone to offer that help first, is it because we feel that that's a weakness to ask for that help? Is it because you are waiting for that permission to ask for help? Because when someone offers the help to you, they're giving you the permission to take it, to accept the help, right? And accepting help is a whole other topic that we could talk about. But in essence, they're giving you the permission to accept that help without you having to ask. They're making that easier on you. They're allowing you to not have to face that trust issue and face that fear, because they're offering it up first before you ever have to do it. Neil says, yes, waiting. I'm not sure what you mean by that, by yes, waiting. If you could write in another comment and let me know what you mean by that. So, but I do invite you, oh, my battery's getting low. I do invite you, Neil, to journal that and journal what kind of a mindset and what you're thinking about when you're waiting, when you want someone to offer the help rather than just coming out and asking for it. Because it truly isn't a sign of weakness to ask for that help and admit that that's what you need. So it's actually a sign of great, great strength. Yes, waiting for permission. Yeah. So Neil says, yes, waiting for permission. So, and that's what it is. When someone offers the help, then they're giving you that permission, and you don't have to get up that strength and that courage to ask for the help, right? They're kind of letting you off the hook. And in a lot of cases, it's not doing you any good when somebody offers the help first and letting you off the hook, because you need to find that strength within yourself and change that mindset within yourself and know the feeling of asking for help and know that it's okay to ask for that help. It's not a weakness. So you have the homework, my friends. I'm looking at my cell phone battery and it's starting to die. So I'm going to wrap this up. This has been episode 53 of Matt Chat. We have been talking about asking for help and whether or not you wait for permission to ask for help. This has been Melissa Ross, your mindset coach with Rise to Wellness. I wish you all a wonderful evening. Let me know how your homework goes this week. Please do comment below. #replay if you're watching the replay. Send me a private message if you want to talk about the homework for the week or how that went for you. Take a look for me on Facebook, Melissa Ross on Facebook. Nicholas is giving us a little prayer symbol. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight, and have a lovely, lovely night. Oh, and friends, if you're still online at 9:30, go to a Tribe of Giants or to my Facebook page and check out the League of Giants. We will be introducing the entire league, including myself, tonight at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time in the Tribe of Giants group. So check that out tonight if you're online at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. I wish you all a wonderful night, friends. Take care.